Okay, so this video is for those of you who missed class on the day that we set up our annotated bibliography. This is just going to walk you through the steps that you should do to use my annotated bibliography template and actually get started working on your own annotated bibliography. The first thing that you need to do is open up the annotated bibliography template. The template is posted both on Canvas as well as it has been sent in an email to your school email address. So again, it's either on Canvas or it has been sent in an email to your school email address. This is a copy of the annotated bibliography template, so this is what it will look like once you have it opened. The first thing that you're going to want to do is to update your information. Where it says your name, you will want to change it to your name. You will need to update your class period. So if you're not in 7th period, you might be in 2nd period. You'll want to update that. And the due date. Make sure that you are using the date here that the assignment is due. So make sure that is updated. Okay. You will also want to edit the header footer. So if you're in Microsoft Word, you can edit the header by double-clicking it. Or if you're not sure how to do that, you can go to Insert, Header, and you might do blank and you can edit it yourself. I would just double click it because I've already entered it and it's already the correct font and size. So your last name, be sure that you do not delete that page number or else you will have to go and reinsert it, and you reinsert a page number by going to Insert, Page Number, Current Position. Okay, if you just type the number 1, then it will just repeat the number 1 on every single page, and you don't want to do that. The next thing you're going to want to do is update your research topic. So whatever the topic of your research paper is, you will update it. For example, if you're researching Mary Shelley's life, you would just write Mary Shelley's life. You will leave the colon in the annotated bibliography as part of your title. I suggest going ahead and saving this document before you make too many changes. That way you won't lose any of your work. My recommendation is to save it to your OneDrive. Save it to your OneDrive so that way you know it is backed up online and you won't just lose it if your computer crashes. All right, so once you've updated that type of information, before you start actually pasting information, you need to access it. So you need to log on to Noodle Tools. If you go to the school website and you scroll down, you should see under this student box right here, you should see the Learning Tools symbol. Okay. Then there's a lot of resources on this learning tool. You'll have to scroll down. It's pretty far down. Okay. You will see Noodle Tools. So, oops, just trying to highlight that. There is Noodle Tools. You will click it, and you should be able to log in with your account. I'm already logged in because I signed in earlier. Once you're in your project homepage, you need to open up the current project, so whatever you titled it. And once you're inside that project, you will need to go up here to the top bar and click Sources. So up here at the top bar, you will click Sources. Then it has all of your sources. If you'll notice up on this top bar, or this, I guess, second tier of bars, you'll see Print Export. If you click the drop-down menu, you should see where it says Print Export to Word. So you are going to select the option that says Print Export to Word. Then you will get this box that pops up. It tells you you're downloading a document, it's okay, and you will open up that downloaded document. You are going to have to click Enable Editing so that you can copy things. So up here at the top, you'll get this yellow bar telling you it's protected. Just click Enable Editing. And here are all of your beautiful citations, and they are in the correct hanging indent. They are double-spaced, exactly like they need to be. So for your annotated bibliography, you do not need to use all of your sources. You only need to use certain sources from this long list of citations in your annotated bibliography. So for this assignment, you need 3 of your strongest sources. And remember, the sources that appear in your annotated bibliography need to also be used in your research paper. So let's just say that these 3 are the sources I want to use. I will highlight these, right-click, and copy. Then I will go to my template, and I would scroll down, Sorry for that glitch. I would scroll down to where I see Works Cited, and here you'll see that I've given you some instructions about how sources should appear in alphabetical order. All sources need to have proper formatting, so that means that you need to italicize where necessary, and they should all use a hanging indent. Right here, this is a hanging indent. The first line is always going to be tabbed all the way over, and each following line or subsequent line will be spaced over. You don't need to worry about tabbing over yourself. All you need to do is make sure that there is a hanging indent. And I tell you, to create a hanging indent, highlight the citations, select the drop-down menu, select hanging under special indentations. So say this wasn't a hanging indent, or if I wanted to change how this was indented, I would highlight it. I would go up to the Home tab. Underneath the paragraph box, I would hover over this. It says Paragraph Settings. You'll click it. And here where it says indentation, you will need to make sure it says hanging, because if it doesn't say hanging, it might end up looking like this, okay? But I want hanging, so I'm going to go to Paragraph, Special, Hanging, okay? So now that I've copied my sources from the exported Noodle Tools file, I want to paste them into my actual annotated bibliography. So I am going to right-click. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to right-click, and then I have different paste options. If you hover over each option, you'll see what it's going to look like before you actually do it. So one option is to use the destination theme, where everything is correct. You might also keep source formatting, which is also correct. You can merge formatting, which will keep your italics, but it will not keep the hanging indent. So I would pick one of these first two if you have that option. And there we go. Everything is correct for Works Cited. It is double-spaced, Times New Roman, hanging indent, and it's perfect. Okay? So now that you have your Works Cited page all done, you need to actually go and do the annotation for one of them. I would go ahead, highlight the first one. We know it's my first one because as we see, it's in alphabetical order, as it should be. So the first citation will be the first in that correct alphabetical order. So you're just going to copy this. You're going to scroll up to where it says copy and paste your first source. So you can read all this information, but I am going to paste. And then for some reason I have an extra space here, so I'm just going to delete that. Okay, so now my source is correct. There is a weird space here, but that's because my URL is so long, so don't get worried if you see this spacing right here where there's nothing. That is okay. So I'm going to go through. The first paragraph needs to be a summary. The summary needs to have main ideas, arguments, key points, and one quote. Okay? Then I have my assess paragraph. My assessment needs to address and explain the overall quality of the source, and it can do that by answering any of these questions. Okay? So you can read through those. And the last paragraph will be your evaluate paragraph. Your evaluation needs to explain how the source influences your research and shapes your ideas. It needs to address and explain the source's influence, use, and comparison to other sources. Okay? So each of these paragraphs need to be about 50 words. If you need to check your word count, you can highlight the paragraph, and if you look down here on the bottom left corner, it says 99 of 343 words, which means that highlighted section is 99 words. My recommendation is that each of these paragraphs be about 50 words, because altogether, one annotation needs to be 150 to 200 words. So if I were to highlight all of these, I'll come down here, and this says it is 185 words, which is perfect. That's what it needs to be. Now, obviously, the information that you put there needs to do the information, needs to do the summary, needs to do the evaluation. It doesn't just need to be instructions, but that should give you an idea of about how long each annotation should be. If you scroll back down, you'll see that you need to repeat this process again for each annotation. So remember, for this assignment, you need to have 3 annotations in your annotated bibliography. And that is it.